Let me put myself up here. I'm going to redo that opening because I forgot to put my camera on. Hello and welcome to this week of Gear Report episode 211 for the 6th of June, 2024. We got a really interesting show with lots of cool things happening. So you're going to want to stick around and hear about all the neat stuff that's going on here at Gear Report and throughout the whole Gear Report universe. Let me get that light out of the way since we're not using it. There we go. Where should we start? We got so many different directions we could go with this. The gun snub is here. Okay, with a our typical greeting here on this program is 3 yo's in a row. I don't know why, but it's yo yo yo. Yo bitches at least gets us somewhere in the ballpark. So I'll give them points for creativity on that one. I don't know that we've seen that one before. This is This Week at Gear Report, and we are very pleased to be sponsored by our friends at Sylvan Arms. Go check them out if you're interested in any of the cool stuff that they produce. And man, they got a lot of cool things. So please go check out Sylvan Arms. We're here every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, except the ones that we're not. We'll talk about that coming up as well. We've got a couple dates where we may not have coverage because of other really cool things going on where we're going to generate new content for new things. We will dig into recent reviews. Should we do that now? Let me talk about some current events, so to speak, here at Gear Report before we dig into recent reviews. We're going to come back to that. I know what we're going to do. We're going to go to Humvee. Yeah, I just made up that intro. I don't know if we're going to keep doing the kind of growl thing for that. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe it'll catch on. So that means I need to share the screen because we had last week, I was able to share with everyone that we had a huge breakthrough in the Battlewagon 4. James, the Humvee Whisperer, was able to make time. And I'm telling you, dude is in huge demand. He was able to make time to come install the new fuel injection pump on our 4th Humvee, right? And you know what? I'm going to come back to that comment, Gun Snob. I don't want to interrupt where I was going with this. I had my fingers crossed. Like the diagnosis from Patrick, who I bought the Humvee from, that I agreed with was that there was a fuel delivery issue for this Humvee and needed a new fuel injection pump. It actually came with a new fuel injection pump, right? A couple of them. I had to pick which one I wanted to use, and a part or two had to be swapped amongst them. James installed it. This was a day and a half last time I did this job. He did the whole thing in 3 hours, including swapping parts between fuel injection pumps. It was absolutely amazing. And he did the whole thing while talking on the phone. So all of this happened, and then the truck ran. But I hadn't changed the automatic transmission fluid yet. And last time on the Battlewagon 3, I drove it around because it looked good. I didn't change it. It ended up getting a little moisture. It had a little moisture in it, and that completely shredded something inside the torque converter, and the transmission had to be rebuilt. That was like a $1,500 error. So this time, instead of driving it around, I waited till I had time to change the transmission fluid. And now the Battlewagon 4 has moved under its own power down the driveway to where I could get on a flat surface and check the transmission fluid level, and then actually drove it down to one of the neighbors' driveways, backed in, came back, came up the driveway. It had good power. Everything worked great. I am really thrilled and excited, and hoping I'm going to have some more time pretty soon that I can put into that to get it roadworthy and ready. And you can see here, I'm going to drop the link for this video on the Humvee Gear Report channel, but actually I'm sharing the one off of Rumble instead of YouTube. Why not, right? We're everywhere. I may as well share it over there on Rumble. And this video, actually, you don't even see it run. You don't see it moving, this video. why, because my phone was down to 1%. I knew it was gonna die if I turned it on. But what you'll notice in the video is it's pointing uphill. It had been pointing downhill the rest of the time. There's no way to turn it around unless it was running. So, um, oh my god, the rudeness that's showing up in our comments. Mystic Guns hadn't been here in months. Finally shows up to say blah blah blah. Okay, whatever. I miss TJ being on the show. Says the gun snob, which is funny because TJ called me yesterday and assured me that he would be here for the show this evening, and then he's not here. So I guess that's what we get for listening to TJ and what he said. So back to the gun snob's earlier comment. Don't worry, I'm sure we'll be able to watch this episode and rerun in and out on Facebook. That gets back to a camping equipment company stole parts of two of my videos that are on YouTube and Odyssey, and I think they're probably on Rumble, but also on the Amazon Influencer Program video platform, all over the place, right? They stole two of those videos and incorporated them into a commercial that they made. And I'm like, what? Because, for a content creator, it's great if your work gets appreciated and brands want to use it. That's an opportunity to sell them the rights to the video so they can use it in their ad. Well, this company never even asked if they could use it, let alone ask if they could buy the rights to use it in a commercial. So that's what the gun snob is referring to there. They ran that commercial as an ad on Facebook. That's where I saw it. I don't know where else they were running it. That's the only place I saw it, but I reported it, got it taken down, and the company offered me some stuff. And I said, okay, fine, I'll accept your offer. And they haven't followed up on anything. So we'll see what happens. Gary with the yo. We appreciate you, Gary. Nice ad. Yeah. Okay. People give me a hard time because they stole my ad. We already saw that we missed TJ being on the show. Oh, the gun snob is going to text him and complain. You should do that. And honestly, if anyone else has TJ's number and you want to text him and complain, I would not be opposed to that either. I think, I don't know if he forgets or falls asleep or just is like, oh, I'm tired. I don't want to deal with Jeff, so he doesn't show up. But one way or another, he doesn't show up. We know that much, right? So with that, I think we have concluded Humveegeddon. Although I, one of the things James said when he was over, I was asking about converting it from a two-man, like a pickup truck configuration, to the four-man normal Humvee, and ask him if he had a specific part. It's the upper rails that go across the doors, the front and back doors, because all I had is a shorter one for the two-door. And he said, well, if you got any more of those, just use those for the back. You have to drill new holes so that the bolt holes line up. But it's actually big enough it'll work. So it's like, hot damn, I'm going to be able to convert because I've already got the top. I've already got the C-pillar. I've already got the bows. All I needed were those side rails. And he told me how I can use the ones I already have, the extras. So I will be able to convert that truck to a four-man configuration whenever I want to do it. So I don't know when that's going to be, but it'll be at some point. So that's the news for Humveegeddon. We're going to get off of that. I know everyone is dying to see Guitarmageddon, and we do have something to talk about. I'm going to wait and do that in a little bit. We're not going to get to that just yet because we do have some recently published reviews. Recent reviews. Let's see. The gun snob has already, this was right after I'm about to text him and complain, says he already did. He made a lame excuse. I think he's intentionally sabotaged his computer so I didn't have to join. I've seen no proof that TJ actually has computer problems. He keeps saying he does, but it kind of feels like a convenient excuse. And I know for a fact, whenever Ghost comes on, Ghost Tactical, when he joins from his phone. You can join this program from a phone. It works perfectly fine. TJ claims to be computer illiterate and unable to do it, but he's done it before. So I don't know what's going on. All I know is he calls and tells me he's going to be here, and then he doesn't show up. Or let me know he's not going to be here. Let's see. Need a four-man configuration, so more people available to push. That is a pretty good reason, I think. if you need people to push, then yeah, it's good to have more people. Before we dive into recently recent reviews, I want some feedback because I know we got some content creator types here, and I want to know. Let me take that recent reviews off the screen, and I'm going to move where my picture. Oops, clicked the wrong thing. Let's bring that back. That one, I think, yeah, that moves me down a little bit. This is a dilemma that I'm having, and I'd like some feedback from the content creator types. I'm looking at $400 for this Insta360 Ace Pro waterproof action camera with Leica. Is that what they call it? That is the higher end photography company that partnered with them on the lenses or camera or something. I'm going to get it wrong if I try to give you all the details, but the point being, it's a really interesting camera that works the way a GoPro does, but in all of the side-by-side comparison footage that I've seen, this thing blows away the GoPro. The colors look better. The low light video is in a complete different class from a GoPro. So I was prepared to buy the GoPro Hero 12, the latest one, because I got a bunch of stuff coming up where I need, where I want to use an action camera. I want to take a good camera on an Alaska cruise here in a couple weeks. And I've got a big backpacking trip next month, another trip to New Mexico where I'll be out for a week and a half, a little over a week and a half in the mountains. And I want to get some really good footage. I am leaning real hard towards getting this camera, but here's what's slowing me down. I am thrifty. That's the word that I use. Oh, I see comments coming in here. So before we switch, let's see. Oh, Gun Snob's got his new sugar daddy. Interesting. I hear he's going to start writing for GearReport. Well, if he were here, he could defend himself. But since he's not, I don't even know what to say, right? Let's see. Defense Dad says, I see gut people. That's good. And the three yos. We appreciate that as well. The Gun Snob says he's heard good things about these, the Insta360 Ace Pro. Let's see. And Gizzard Gary is already ahead of where I was going. And let's see. Gun Snob says, look at the DJI. That's the 4, right? Defense Dad wants the Insta360 Go. I don't know which one that is. I may have to look that up. But let's see. This is where I was about to go, is you get the Hero Black. So you may have noticed I have another tab that has it up here. It is indeed $100 cheaper. And there's tons of accessories available. But here's the deal. Like, you can go into, was it this one has got in the video on YouTube, I'm sure. There's this one right here. I've clicked it. Where is it? Come up there. All right, it's not wanting to load. Anyhow, if you go to that one and look, you'll see one. It's got 3 different cameras on the little thumbnail. It does a side-by-side comparison of the DJI, whatever it is, 4, the Ace Pro, and the Hero 12. And no joke, the Ace Pro is like the hands down winner on pretty much every category, but especially on the color saturation, and like everything just looks better. And the low light performance is 100% better, maybe more. Yeah. If I'm going to buy one, I do need to go watch the Gun Snobs, and I'll show you that. If let's see if it's still up here. Do we see the Gun Snob over here? I don't see his video on here. I wonder if it's down below, because they put videos in 2 places on Amazon. So we'll get rid of those comments so we can see when we get down to the lower. We saw the upper video carousel. Let's see if we can find the lower video carousel. Oh, I didn't see it. Maybe I went past it. It's not similar. Here we go. Family unit review for you. Oh, there's the gun snob. All right. Just in case I decide I want to buy it, I'm going to go ahead and fire this up. All right, we'll come back watch that later. It's not wanting to cooperate, probably because I'm streaming. But let's see what we got here. Let's see. Defense data. I just bought another camera body though, so I got to wait a bit. Yeah, I know. It's what happens when you buy stuff, right? Plus, bought a gun, another gun, which is understandable. I mean, you needed those. GoPros have some issues, to be fair, but I do still like them, and they have a lot of features I like. And you know, I'm still rocking a GoPro. What is it? It's a Hero 5 Black, and it's the first model that they made that really had decent image stabilization, and it's been fantastic. I use it for mainly for backpacking and sailing videos is what I've used it for, and it does really well. It's naturally waterproof. It's impact resistant. It takes good still pictures. I can change the settings, so I just push one button. When it turns on, it starts recording video in whatever mode I set it in, like as a default mode, and it records until I push the button one more time, the shutter button, and the whole thing shuts off. So when I'm backpacking and I just want to take it off, I have a clip on the strap of my backpack. I just undo it like a little Grimlock clip off of off a body armor or a Molly backpack. I use that to hold the camera. I just take it off, push the button, shoot the video. When I'm done, push the button, it shuts off. I clip it back in place. Super convenient. I don't know if an Ace Pro is going to let me do that, but good night. That video is so much better. It's not even funny. DJ Play Nice is here, and he knows what's going on because one of the little emojis he put up there is a red guitar, which is what we're going to talk about when we get to Guitarmageddon, is the red guitar that followed me home a couple days ago. So you're going to want to see that. Let's see. The GoPro 12 is night and day better than a 5. Oh, it better be. Good Lord. I mean, I've got a 5 and it's a 12. It should be 100% better. But seriously, go look. Go if you hadn't gone to look at that side-by-side comparison video on the Ace Pro, go look at it and you'll be like, crap, how could I buy anything but this? And I don't want to spend the extra $100, but good night. It just looks so good. Let's see. What do we got here? Of course, more than double. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yep. All right. DJ Play Nice is ready for Guitarmageddon. We're going to get to that. We're definitely going to get to that because I'm pretty stoked about what I brought home. I picked it up locally at a smoking hot price. And don't be mad. I wasn't going to forget it anyway. You can't blame him for that. Gun Snob says, I don't know anything. Honestly, I don't know that anything you do is going to matter, that the video quality isn't as good as. I mean, everyone watching on their phone won't notice. Right. That's probably true. But except for the night stuff. Seriously, go watch that comparison video, especially when he gets to the part where he does some night footage. He does what a lot of people do with the action cameras. And I've actually got one of these mounts that it's a bar. His has 4 mounts on it. Mine has 3 mounts. So you can put 3 cameras side by side. And you start them all and you just go around and do something. And because they're all on that same horizontal mount, you get to see from the exact same motion what kind of image stabilization does it have. As you turn it towards and away from light sources or in brighter light or in dimmer light, you can see how each one of those cameras reacts to those different light sources. And I'll tell you what, it's really amazing. Really is. Defense Dad says, I'll notice, but I'm a camera snob. Ooh, new channel. The camera snob. It could happen. It could happen. We haven't created camera gear report yet, so who knows? That could be in the works. The gun snob says, I saw one here a while back. I want one, but I just got the 12 less than a year ago, so I'm not buying another one yet. Yeah. I hear you. And I haven't. Obviously, it's been a while since I got that Hero 5. I got it before the backpacking trip in 21, and it was old. It was a fraternity brother from college that had it and was like, I don't know, give me $100. So I gave him $100 and he sent it to me, and it's been amazing. But I actually used that camera for some video. Oh, I bet I closed that page too. Right before I was going to show you some video. Oops, wrong thing. I am trying to go through my history and see if I can get back to that quickly. No, I can't. One of my Amazon videos, and I think it's on the travel channel, the Travel Gear Report channel as well. Several of the videos I shot on a beach in the Bahamas, and beautiful water and everything. And I have an older iPhone too. I have a couple of the iPhone XRs, and the colors look so much better from the iPhone XR than they did out of that GoPro. Like, I thought the video looked pretty good, but then I saw the like where I had them side by side, the camera, the iPhone and the GoPro, and it was just so much better on the GoPro that, or excuse me, on the iPhone, that I was like, crap, I think I need to get a new camera. All right. So I stalled long enough that I was able to find a video and bring it up here. And you see, this is iPhone video at the beginning. So we'll see if we can get that to play. It's probably not going to cooperate. So that looks really good. The color looks great here on that part. But then we get to the beach, and this first pan at the beach is with the iPhone, and it looks amazing. And then let me see if I can get it to load, and then maybe turn it back on. Yeah, it's I think I'm flogging my internet connection trying to broadcast. So there, that it look the colors look pretty accurate. The almost crystal clear water, just a little green tint, looks fantastic. But then when I switch over to going out in the water and I'm using the waterproof GoPro, it gets a whole lot more green, and it just doesn't look anywhere near as good. So that convinced me, like, crap, I am going to have to get a new action camera. I mean, look, that doesn't look anywhere near as good. The water almost looks dingy, and it was beautiful. So yeah, that kind of convinced me that I'm going to have to get a better camera. Okay, so if anyone has any additional thoughts on that, let me know. Let's see, what are we looking at here? Gunsnob says, also, all the menus on the GoPro have changed a ton since the 5. So either way, you're going to have to learn the camera. Yeah, well, that's true, I'm sure. Yeah. It should be evolution in everything on those cameras. Let's see. Before Thunder on the Prairie, Defense Dad picked up an Olympus OMD EM1 Mark II. That's a mouthful. It's a twin of the one I already had, but now one for pics and one for film. Interesting. Well, that's kind of like what I do with the iPhones. I have two of the exact same iPhone, and one I use for video, and the other I use as a phone and for some pictures as well. Gunsnob shoots the footage in RAW most of the time and color grade, so it doesn't matter much for him. And yeah, sometimes I'm trying to do more of automatic settings so I don't have to do any color grading. Like, I'm trying to streamline my production process. I'd probably get the 360 if it was me. Plus, I want someone I know to get one before I buy one. Yeah. And I may go ahead and order that this evening. We'll see. Caleb came through, and let me get this off the screen, and I'll use this opportunity to show you what Caleb sent me. Caleb, the hunting editor, I think he misunderstood what I was requesting. I thought I was asking him to send me 2 sets of binoculars, and he did send me one. And basically, it's me being lazy. I didn't want to reach out to manufacturers to try to get binoculars, but I know Caleb has reviewed a number of different sets of really nice binoculars on behalf of GearReport, you know, as the hunting editor. So I said, hey, send me a set. So these are from Lucid Optics, and they're really, really nice binoculars. Caleb and I went to the Lucid Optics event that they have out at the NRA Winnington Center in New Mexico a few years ago. Was it 2019 or 2020? I can't remember. But we went out for that, and we got to put our hands on these right before they launched them. So we had some of their early production samples to play with, and they're really nice binoculars. But later this month, Mrs. GearReport and I are doing an Alaska cruise, and apparently something that you need on an Alaska cruise are really nice binoculars. I love how these have got the little neoprene covers that just slide right over them. So we have these that we're going to take on that cruise. I thought I was going to have to buy binoculars. We've got these. I also have a Lucid Optics monocular, like you would put on a tripod beside your shooting bench. And it's their little mini one that is phenomenal for the size. It magnifies better than anything else I've used. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the monocular and the binoculars, and then we'll each have something that we can use. And I may even take a little tripod so we can set the monocular up on that and pan it around on the tripod. And then we have the binoculars that we can carry around. I think that's going to work. And because I didn't have to spend the money on binoculars, because Caleb let me borrow those, I can buy that camera. So yeah, I think that Insta360 Ace Pro is going to go in the cart here tonight or tomorrow. So yeah, I think the gun snob talked me into it, because I want to take one for the team here and be the first one to try that camera. All right, so I have been putting off getting into our regular agenda. We're going to we're going to power through the articles that have been published here. Let's see. We may as well start with this one, which is ironic that it's a Highland Tactical bit of luggage in the back of a Humvee, because that's you know, when I last reviewed some Highland Tactical luggage, I put it in the back of a Humvee for pictures as well. This is hard luggage. And I was just talking to someone today about how I have a, it almost looks like a hockey bag. It's got wheels, but it's a duffel bag and a handle that pulls out the top, that I normally, when I fly across the country to go to an exotic backpacking location, I'll put my backpack and trekking poles and other stuff in that bag and check it in with the airline so that my bag doesn't get damaged. That's something else I'm going to show you, is a custom-made bag that a friend sent me to try this summer when I go backpacking, so that my bag doesn't get eaten alive by the airlines, because I've got a brand new, really nice ultralight backpack that the airlines could easily destroy before I use it. So Highland Tactical Titan and Armor 21-inch carry-on luggage review, and 4.5 out of 5. If you remember our Gears rating system, 4.5 means likely the best product in its class and price point. Super high praise for the Highland Tactical Titan and Armor 21-inch carry-ons. You can read through all the details here, and it's the type of carry-ons that I like. You can see that it's got the center wheels on the bottom. And just in case you're listening, Komar, I've seen you pop up in the green room once or twice. I don't see any camera, and the mic's muted, so I'm not sure if you want me to add you just yet. But let's see. The gun snob is going to be back, so that's good. And he'll decide if we earn the other TOs. I think we're on a pretty good track for that right now. So I am keeping an eye, Komar, to see when you looks like you're ready to be added to the program, if you can get that working. So anyhow, go check out the carry-on bags from Highland Tactical. they're really up in their game. They were just like a soft textile company. As far as I remember, it was a few years ago. We had a big meeting with them, probably 4 years ago at SHOT Show, and got a whole bunch of stuff sent out to various people on the GearReport team and in the GearReport family. And it all got pretty decent reviews, but this looks like they've really jacked it up a notch or two with what they're doing there at Highland Tactical. So please go check those out. I'm going to copy that link and drop it down here in the description. So if anyone wants to, or in the chat rather, so if anyone wants to go check those out, then there you go. That link is down there for you to do. Oh, so we do have a camera snob. Look at that. Defense Staff, what's your opinion on the Hasselblad X2D 100C? Well, that could be a whole new discussion in itself. And all right, I'm going to bring Comar in here. He says he's good, but he doesn't have any videos. So welcome to the program, Comar.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, you ever tried any of these Highland Tactical bags?
I have not yet.
We'll have to talk to them. Next time I see them, I'm going to have to see what they're looking to get reviewed again, because it really went well the last time we worked with them. They gave us great feedback that the reviews really helped drive some sales for them, and we were all real happy. Everyone who tested those products was happy. So we'll have to keep you in mind if we're able to get some more products. Maybe we can get you on the review roster.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Look at that. I kind of wonder, is Camera Snob something the Gun Snob just threw together? Is Defense Dad talking to himself? Either way, I respect whoever is doing this. You know, whoever created this Camera Snob account.
And, whatever snob he identifies as today is
right.
It's fine with me.
I mean, I salute anyone who is willing to create a new account just to further kind of a little casual aside type joke that was made on a podcast.
Yep.
So, good on you.
What's wild is when you see somebody with like the perfect account name for an inside joke like that, and then you look at the history, find the account was created like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like you're just waiting for their time to shine, right?
I knew it would happen.
Yes.
Just
wait.
Yeah. Yeah. They're the account pack rat. That's like, I know I'm going to use it someday. I got to hold on to it.
Yep.
So here's another one from AJ, the Speed Locker portable lockable storage container review. This is one that I spent a little time with at SHOT Show. And it's from Streamlight. So Streamlight has a little village that they set up with a bunch of little offices, and they have tables and all their products in there. And I actually got to go in and spent 20, 30 minutes by myself and just videoing all the different products. And I can't remember if I actually published the video for this yet or not, but it's a neat little, I'm pretty sure it's mostly all plastic. Like there are a couple little metal pins and pivots and bushings at different places, but this is predominantly a plastic, somewhat secure pistol case that you operate with the 5 buttons that you see up here. And then you set your combination, and then you manually click those buttons. So we see a lot of the biometric stuff. And I don't know about you, Comar, but I have been a bit slow to adopt anything biometric. Like I have a wall safe that I still haven't installed in my wall. It's I probably shouldn't talk about this in case I ever do get around to installing it, but it's like a full-length mirror, and it has a little RFID something that you have to put up at a certain spot on it, and it unlocks, and you can slide the mirror to the side and reveal some somewhat secure storage that's in it. And it makes me nervous because what if that electronic device doesn't work right? This is purely mechanical, and I like that.
I've experienced that failure.
Oh,
I've experienced that failure personally, and I have nothing positive to say about it. The particular unit that I used that had an RFID,
Mhm.
um, it had no way to power it uh, if the batteries died while the thing was locked.
Oh
And
my.
so you then had to. I happen to have two of the devices, so I was able to figure out where I could drill a small hole to then insert a wire to activate the latch to open it up. Um, but prior to figuring that out, I contacted the manufacturer and was like, "What do?" And they explained a way to and not catastrophically, but to break in that definitely damaged the whole thing, and then how to then affect the repair for it.
Hmm.
Um, Essentially, you did a thing that basically separated the locking mechanism from the case, and then the
Yeah.
repair was to then use a larger size screw because it would force a screw out. But
Wow.
anyway, not a fan. Not a fan. Had a negative experience. That
Yeah.
being said, I have built biometric systems for locks for access to spaces, people size spaces, and so I understand the technology enough that I don't want it for myself.
Yeah. That's kind of where I am. And so Streamlight really, like, when I looked at this product, I was like, wow, welcome to 1980, you know?
Yeah,
Because I mean, look at it. There's big chunky bits of plastic in there, no
yeah,
electronics at all. But then I thought about it. Like I was kind of dismissive of it at SHOT Show. I still shot the video, but because I'm a hoe when it comes to shooting video for products. Um,
yeah.
but and it looks like an old cassette deck, right? But
Mhm.
I could see myself back in elementary school recording stuff off the radio with that.
With that,
Um,
yep,
and that look kind of turned me off. But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, it's got some stuff going for it.
yeah.
So yeah,
I may need to pick one up. I'm interested in seeing an actually hands on with the mechanism and see how robust I feel it to be.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Remind me. I'll see if Streamlight will send one out if you want, and
Yeah,
then you can
no, I
rev
would
it up.
definitely be interested in that. But definitely interested in that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we've had a really good relationship with them for quite a while. So I think this is a shot at how you set um, the combination on it. With I'm
Gotcha.
assuming it's with those pins. I don't know. I didn't read about it. I just kind of popped my head out and said, "Hey, what's the combination for this?" And they told me what their standard combination was for the show, and
Yeah.
I was able to open it and shoot my video, and everything was good. So that's neat in that. Sometimes first impressions of new products are a little bit unfair. Maybe I think that my first impression of this was unfair because it looks like a freaking 1973 model cassette tape recorder, but I think it's got some value, and it's got their plastic locking mechanism that you saw the picture when it was open, but also holes that are reinforced. They have little steel sleeves or something, some sort of metal where
So
you walk through them, and it's harder to cut through to get them out. So
so
I think
certainly first
decent.
impression matters, right? And first impression matter, and you want to see the style of the thing and all that. But ultimately, it's not a showpiece, right? It needs to secure
Yeah,
the asset reliably,
sure.
and be easy to open and not fail. So
And
really, that's what matters.
yeah, and while the camera snob sees a tabletop cassette player, a lot of their customer base are younger people who don't even know what a tabletop cassette player is. So I think that with every passing year, they have less risk of people making fun of it because it looks like a cassette player because people don't know those anymore.
Valid, very valid.
Yeah. So let's see. That was rated pretty well. Go check that review out if it looks interesting to you. And all right, how do I do this? That's what I want to move us off to the side. Caleb, who I already mentioned, had sent me the really nice Lucid Optics binoculars to use here shortly. Also arranged a review. Aero Precision reached out and said, "Hey, can we send you a complete upper to do a review on?" So he's been working on that, and I apologize. It took me a little while to get it published, but you can see He gave it a 4 out of 5. He liked it quite a bit. Wasn't the biggest fan of the rail, which I find kind of interesting what he said. Like they made these lightning cuts and ventilation cuts up here on the kind of 45 or the oblique angle off the side. And you can't use it to mount anything. It's not M-LOK. It's just holes, just elongated rectangular holes that don't happen to match M-LOK. So I think I kind of agree with them. Maybe there's a little bit of a missed opportunity with the Atlas R1 rail in terms of being able to use M-LOK all the way around. But there's so many different hand guards with different configurations. I think you can find whatever you want, depending on what your use case is. For what he wanted, it's a little different, but oh, and that's good. Look at that. He's got a picture of that steel in there. Actually, I don't think that may not be the steel I was thinking. I was thinking the little steel target picture in the article was a piece of steel that I let Caleb borrow, just like I let him borrow my chronograph probably 6 years ago. I've yet to see that chronograph again. I've still never used it because
I'm pretty sure you gave it to him
after I got it. Yeah. Anyhow, I'm going to drop the link for that down here. We'll put that in the comments as well. So if anyone wants to check that out, you can look at it on the Humvee Gear Report channel. You can find that in the comments on the OG Gear Report. You can look at it on Twitch. If you're following us on Twitch right now, it's in the comments there as well. Because who doesn't follow us on Twitch, right? Bunch of old guys not playing video games. We're like all about Twitch.
100%.
Yeah. So let's see. This is the last of the recently published articles, and then we'll get back to investigating who the camera snob is. Also from Streamlight, also written by AJ, and also getting a pretty high 4 out of 5 gears, which 4 stands out as a top option in the product class and price point. Not necessarily best in class, but pretty darn close to it. Streamlight Stryon 2020 rechargeable handheld flashlight. Have you moved over to rechargeable flashlights, Komar? You still like stuff with user replaceable, like over-the-counter batteries?
Definitely user replaceable. But I'm a huge fan of the 18650s, and I've got devices that use a lot of flashlights that use those, and I have charging bays in my office and in my truck. I actually have in the console of my truck a charger bank that keeps a couple of them charged, so I can just swap the batteries out for everything.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm a big fan of what you just said, standardizing. For me, it was double A's for 15, 20 years. And it was the old NiCads, and then moving up to, as whenever technology changed, I changed whatever the best rechargeables were. And those were amazing. And then once the 18650s and a couple other of the higher capacity batteries started coming out,
the 217 something,
much less useful. But I absolutely love the idea of standardizing, kind of like when you're building out your defensive or tactical firearms package. There's something to be said about interchangeability of magazines and ammunition.
100%.
Yeah. So yeah, I like it. And man, we've had such a great relationship with Streamlight because, here's something I can show you. Since we're talking about good flashlights and maybe not so good flashlights, I'm going to go full screen for a sec. If anyone recognizes this brand, everyone's favorite, if you're an influencer, you have no doubt been offered free shit from Olight, just so you'll say good things about them. And this is the first one I've had an issue with, right? I've actually been exceedingly happy. Like, I hate the way Olight operates.
I believe I have that same light on my nightstand.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the Baton 2, the S1R Baton 2. It was phenomenal until it just quit working. It didn't like gradually dim. It didn't gradually go to having a shorter duration of usable power. It worked awesome. And then it quit working, period. And I'm really upset about that. And now I'm second guessing. I've got a kid out in New Mexico living in a very remote location in the woods, literally living in a backpacking tent all summer for work, and teaching people how to build trails out in the wilderness. And I gave her a Streamlight headlamp. You can take it out of the mount and hold it as a right angle flashlight as well, because it's been so good for me. And then right after I gave her that, I went to turn this on, and I'm like, it's not doing anything. Like, it gave me a little blink at the beginning and nothing else. And I've tried the unlock function, to try to get it to work,
Yep.
and it's not. So now I'm worried, did I give her a dud flashlight? I've not had that issue yet with a Streamlight. And they've probably sent me 40 things, 50 things in the last 5-6 years that we've been working together,
Mhm.
plus stuff for other people in the GearReport family. And I've only had one item that didn't work, and I think it was a defective wall wart charger. And it's still
So
around here.
I ju-
It's just off
I just
camera.
confirmed that is the same model that I have next to my
Mhm.
nightstand. That little light, the little O light.
Yeah,
It's double checked its functionality right now. It's working fine, and it's powered by a Streamlight battery.
yeah.
Oh,
Huh,
whatever
interesting.
that means.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to look up, because I'm fairly certain that I did it correctly. Okay, and this one is powered by an O light. It's a 3.7 volt 16340 IMR 16340 rechargeable lithium, and it looks fine. Like, it's not bulged. It doesn't have any outwardly visible issues. I am going to have to go look up and make sure that it didn't get, like, the lockout function didn't,
Yeah,
and I'm just doing it wrong to unlock
yeah,
it, because I wouldn't put that past me. But
yeah,
so far, this appears to be the first O light that I've had fail, which I from talking to other people, that's unusual. A lot of people have more issues with them. Never had that issue with the Streamlight, though. I've been super, super happy with them. And you see, AJ has pictured one of his other. This is the small version that you see, and I'm blanking on which. It's one of the Switchblade, Stryon Switchblade. That's what it is, that you see in this picture. I have the OG, the full size Switchblade, and
yeah.
I actually misplaced it. It rode around all over North South Carolina and into Georgia under the rear fender in the back of my first Humvee. I'd been using it to when I was working on the tail lights, and I set it down and then forgot about it. And I found it 6 or 7 months later. It'd been out there bouncing in the weather and the cold, still works perfect. So I'm just so happy with every Streamlight that I've had. Um, I mean, your mileage may vary, but I've had really good luck with them.
We use Streamlights on all the ambulances.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see. Yeah, I think Twitch is an odd name, Defense Dad, for a video platform as well. But they didn't ask me. Nick Metal Hydrides for DJ. Yeah, that makes sense. I was just thinking about Defense Dad says he misses the 8D cell mag light, and I was just thinking about that. I was going to meet someone. We'll get to Guitar Mageddon here shortly, and typically before I go to meet someone I've never met before, to do any kind of purchase, like a Facebook Marketplace type thing or whatever, I'm going to put a pistol in my pocket. And I did not do that. And I'm partway there and was like, oh, I forgot to bring anything. It'd sure be nice if I had a big ass D cell mag light under the seat that I could hit someone with if I need to. Um, and I don't have one. So I do miss that. And it's something I may have to look into.
Yeah, I do miss the heft of a 4D cell maglite. I've got these much smaller 18650s that throw way more light, way better, but you
Sure.
couldn't beat a grizzly to death with it if you had to.
Right. We carried the really big mag lights when I was in the Air Force. Early on, when I was in the Air Force, I was a crew chief, so I was a mechanic, and we didn't have a lot of active security on the flight line. So when we're out there working on the planes, they'd literally tell us, like, you got a box, your toolbox is full of like big ass wrenches and ratchets, and you got that huge flashlight. We weren't armed on the flight line, you know. So if anyone tried to mess with the airplanes, they're like, take your tools and beat them senseless. And that mag light was like always, we a lot of us developed this kind of annoying habit of holding it and kind of flipping it in our hands as we were walking around, just so we had it available if anyone infiltrated the flight line and tried to get near the aircraft. So yeah, issued by the military as weapons, the D cell mag lights. Yeah. Gizzard Gary got cut off by Olight. All you have to do is say, thanks for the lights, but you're going to have to pay me something for my production expenses if you want me to keep doing work for you, and they'll never talk to you again. So, and I have Olight reach out to me 2-3 times a year as if they've never talked to me before, even though, like, we went to their big thing at SHOT Show several years ago, and I remember we're sitting in there, and Top Shot Dustin was in there, and he kept texting me, making fun of the people doing the presentation. It was the worst. It was the worst SHOT Show presentation I've ever been to. It was a freaking slide deck about all their products, and we're supposed to sit and watch it. And I was like, "Do you have any idea how to deal with media people? Like, you don't
Yep,
show
hard
me."
pass. Hard
You don't
pass.
show me 100 brand new products and expect me to sit there for 4 hours. You ask me what I'd like to help you with and see if we have common ground. And then we arrange something. And I'm out in 3.5 minutes. And they gave us gifts, and bless them, they were trying to be nice, right? Culturally, the Chinese, because Olight's a very Chinese company, they gave us gifts, and it was an honor that they gave us gifts. It was supposed to show that they felt we were important. But they were stupid little things like, do I really need a Chinese umbrella, like a fan umbrella? Like, sure, it was neat looking, but they were all like little cultural symbol things that were completely useless to us. And I'm like, I have to carry this now? Like, I don't want to carry anything. It's 11 o'clock. I'm not going to be home for 12 hours. I don't want to carry this all day. It was just a shit show. And I felt like they were trying so hard to do the right things. They were just clueless. They didn't know how to deal with Americans. Um, let's see. Gizzard Gary, although they cut him off, his light still works. That's good to hear. Yeah, Defense Dad's got the little keychain light. I think that's probably the most recent that I got from Olight's, a little keychain light. 4 or 5 of them. Yeah, that was in the little VIP bag thing. What did they call it? Like the Oscars bag or whatever. It was a neat little bag full of stuff. Keep one of both sets of keys. Yep, yep. They didn't give you a fanny pack with the other stuff. No one. Let me think. Has anyone ever given me a fanny pack? I don't think I've ever received a fanny pack. And not only that, but I have never worked with a politician or a DA or anything named Fanny. So I have no Fanny related content to talk about at the moment.
That sounds like a failure.
Have you?
I think
If you,
you need to up your game, bro.
yeah, I know. There were a few years ago when YouTube was getting really harsh about any kind of firearms content, and people said, "Well, screw you." what is it called? I'm blanking on the name. What's the porn site that everyone was talking about using back then? They're like, they got no rules over there. I can post my gun content there. And
But
I'm blanking. Whatever it was.
Pornhub.
Pornhub. That's it. Yeah.
Pornhub.
And everyone was
Yep.
like, we're going to put our gun content there because they don't have any rules. It's a completely free platform. And they were like, no. We like boobies. We don't like guns. And they shut down all the gun channels. It was like, what the hell's wrong with you people?
Yeah.
But whatever. So let's see. That was the last of the I think that's everything we needed with that screen. I can take that screen off, and we're going to move it back to, that was recent reviews. Reviews that will be published soon. I don't have anything to talk about right now. I'm sure there's some stuff that's coming. We're not going to do TJ's happy hour because his bitch ass didn't even bother showing up. So, Kevin's not here to do patch of the week. We're going to skip that. Boo ATF, repeal the NFA. That kind of goes without saying. I would leave it up, but we're going to go into a very brief segment, and I'm going to take the screen over for this, and we call it, it's not repeal the NFA. That's like the default. We call this one Guitarmageddon. All right. So what I'm going to show you, we're going to be quick about this. All right. Let me pull this light back here. We'll turn that on so we can see a little better up close. And this is from a company called PRS. It's Paul Reed Smith. It's the SE model, which is the student edition model that they make. And all right, we got to put this one on the screen though. Snob likes boobies and guns. That's fair. I like that. So we'll come back to some of the others here shortly, but this is a, what was it, a 2019 model, I think is when this one was made, and it looked almost brand new. And I picked it up for a steal. These are going on sale. You find them for $550, but they retail for $650 to $750. And I picked it up for $280. It's almost brand new. It's beautiful. It plays amazing. I am really, really happy with the way it plays and the way it sounds. But here is what I'm torn on. This was $280, and normally a whole lot more. This one, I think I paid less than $200 for, brand new off of Amazon. And you'll notice they look almost identical. This is a friggin' beast of a guitar. I absolutely love it. And I have less money in it. It's from a different company. It's a copy. It's called IYV, and it is a almost straight up copy out of Vietnam of the PRS. But I'm telling you, it's better. It's got the more premium carve on it. It's got a solid flame maple top. It's a neck through, so that multi-ply wood that you see in the middle goes all the way up through the neck. It is like a $3,500 guitar for less than $200 off of Amazon. Screaming deal. So as much as I love this one, I'm like, yeah, but that one's better and cheaper. So I don't know. But anyhow, I picked it up because it was cheap. I could play with it for a while and then sell it on Reverb and make a little bit of extra money off of it. Plus, I can shoot some videos to put up on YouTube, and if I can figure out where to put a new YouTube channel up, and then or how to do guitars on YouTube again, since they have given me problems. Anyhow, that's what we have there. So I'm curious, DJ, if he's still out there, if you played any of the PRS stuff, and what do you think about it? And have you played any of the IYV PRS copies? Because I'm telling you, they are some of the screaming best values. Let's see, the snot changed back. Yeah, that's it's certainly what it looks like. But this one's red. It has to be better. I don't know, man. so many different factors with guitars, and looks really do make a difference to a lot of people. I think there's so much art involved in making music that you have to be in the right mindset and be inspired, and the aesthetics are really really important to some people. So in helping them be creative and really get the most out of everything. So I don't know if that's true of firearms as much, but it certainly feels like it's true in the music space. So all right, let me see if there's anything else that we missed on here. We are not going to do Ask Bard. Kevin's not here. We're not going to do Where in the World is Kevin? Honestly, I don't think I have the energy for an Urban Dictionary extravaganza this evening. I will remind everyone that if you want to sign up for Right to Bear, which is no longer called Firearms Owners Insurance, they have some other way they describe it now. You can use the Gear Report 10 coupon for 10% off, because we haven't talked about that in a
It's
while.
prepaid legal now.
Is it? Okay.
It's called prepaid legal because
Uh,
you can prepay for legal services in the event that you need legal services. You cannot get insurance for something which you may be accused of committing a crime.
right. Yeah. Yeah. It took them a while to figure that out, I think. But yeah, so it's good to know. So thanks everyone for being here for this week at Gear Report. Komar, thanks for joining me. Really appreciate having
Absolutely,
you
absolutely.
there. Let's see. Defense Dad says looks absolutely matter in firearms too. Otherwise, people would just buy high points. Yeah, I think you went off the rails there a bit, Defense Dad.
There's something you can do with a high point that you can't do with anything else.
Is it drive nails? No, what?
Sure, no. And I exaggerate. You probably can. Someone told me once that the slide is so heavy on that thing that if you have an empty chamber and a loaded mag, and you draw your hand back and punch it forward real fast, just the inertia, you can chamber around.
Hmm.
Yeah, confirmed.
Yeah, yeah, doesn't surprise me. Thanks to G-Webs for showing up and suggesting that people give us a thumbs up. We appreciate that, and it is good evening. So I get that some people really are into aesthetics with guns, but it's like the guitars. Um, I will tell people I don't care what it looks like. I just want it to play well. But then look at what I have. I've got all different colors and shapes and sizes. And I'll tell
Yep.
you what, sometimes like this one, other one, right back here, the dark one with the orange down there is gorgeous. Doesn't play as well as some of the others. I end up playing it more kind of because it looks better. I don't know. I think I've just talked myself into agreeing with Defense Dad. So, and for the guns, maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I could go the opposite direction and say I will never, based on aesthetics, I will never have a real firearm that's painted to look like a toy. Like if it's in primary colors or something like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and it looks like a toy, like nope, no interest. Hey, Flying Rich, good to see you. Thanks for the 3 yos. So yeah, I mean, aesthetics are important to me, whether I buy or not buy something. So anyhow, with that, thanks everyone for being here. Thanks for all the great comments and back and forth in the comments. Thanks, Komar, for being here. TJ can suck it for not being here. Love you, mean it. So no SCCY for me, dude. That's a company we've had a good relationship with them. They've sent me several guns over the years. I don't like their super heavy triggers, but I like most of the stuff about them. But some of the the glittery toy looking colors, I'm like, but these are guns. Come on.
Yep. Yep.
But at least in their defense, especially with their older ones, you don't have to worry about a kid shooting anyone because, it takes a full grown adult to pull the trigger on one of those. So, generally speaking, even if they mistake it for a toy, they're not going to be able to actuate the trigger far enough that it fires. because they're just that heavy. But anyhow, with that, we're going to go ahead and shut it down. Thanks everyone for being here. We'll see you again next week at 9 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. That's East Coast time, the time zone. Thanks again to Sylvan Arms for being a proud sponsor and friends of Gear Report. Until next time, we'll see you at the range.